Hey, this is Chris from Rekkid Talk with yet another episode of 5 records done in 5 minutes. 5 and 5. We're going to feature the great year 1984 this month. So I'm not going to do some of the obvious things. I'm not going to show a record named after a famous novel. I'm not going to show the sort of stuff you would expect me to show you, like albums by like The Replacements or Husker Du or Minutemen or even U2. But what I am going to show you is I'm going to show you a record that had a song based on a famous poem. So I skipped the famous novel, but we will hit the famous poem. So, of course, Iron Maiden's Power Slave came out in 1984. And if you went to high school in the 1980s and your English teacher assigned you to teach Rime of the Ancient Mariner, there was probably some dude in your class that went, "Hey, did you know that Iron Maiden did a song about that poem?" I wonder if English teachers have been hearing that for 40 years. I mean, I still get students, college level students, wearing Iron Maiden t shirts these days. And you got Aces High and 2 Minutes to Midnight and The Power Slave and all kinds of other cool songs by the Maiden. And so, of course, while we're on doing the metal records, so of course, sort of stuff that I was listening to when I was like 14 or so. So we have the Scorpions' Love It First Sting with like Rock You Like a Hurricane. The band's playing in that cage. And of course, at this point of time, the Scorpions had sort of mastered the having a cover that was titillating enough to attract teenage boys, but not so horrid or controversial that the record company was going to pull it and stick up a generic picture of a bunch of ugly German guys on the cover, like happened to them a bunch of times. And so they avoided that. That was probably the last album of the Scorpions anyone needs to listen to. Some of you might argue you don't even need that. Now, one of the things I listened to, some of my friends liked this and some of my friends didn't. There was a big controversy in our circles as to whether or not listening to Prince was acceptable or not. So, of course, he had Purple Rain come out that year. And if you're wondering why do I have a picture disc of it, well, I had the cassette back in the day, and then when I ordered the album some years ago, I made a mistake and I accidentally ordered the picture disc and I just kept it. And so I guess I have a picture disc of Perfect Rain, When Doves Cry, Let's Go Crazy, Darling Nikki, Baby I'm a Star. I mean, it's just full of classic songs, and frankly, I listen to more Prince than Scorpions these days. Now, let me show you some stuff that I certainly wasn't listening to when they came out in 1984. So, a star of one of my videos from several months ago where I was opening $1 sealed albums was when I actually found Sade's Diamond Life, her debut album, with stuff like Smooth Operator. I found this sealed for $1. And I guess I could have slabbed it or I could have flipped it, but what I did instead was I opened it, and I've listened to it a few times, and it's a great sounding record. And so, of course, I'll probably listen to that a time or year or so when I'm in the mood for that style of music. And then another style of music I wasn't into back in the 1980s, though I did have a college girlfriend that was big into. So this is Depeche Mode. So this is a 12-inch single, Blasphemous Rumors on one side, and then several songs, including Everyone Counts, on the second side. So the Blasphemous Rumors side is recorded at 45, and then the other side is recorded at 33. So that's a little bit strange, but that's what they did with this. It's the nice floppy British cover there with that 12-inch single. So there you go. 5 records from 1984.